Good day po sa lahat, si Fiscal EJ po ito. Narinig nyo na ba yung linya na, bouncing check lang yan? BP22 lang, hindi estafa? Well, hindi po ganun kasimple. Akala ng iba kapag tumalbog ang cheque, automatic BP22 lang ang usapan. Pero alam nyo ba, may mga pagkakataon na ang pag-issue ng talbog na cheque ay pwedeng maging estafa? At mas mabigat ang parusa. In today's video, we'll talk about estafa by the issuance of a check under Article 315, Paragraph 2D of the Revised Penal Code as amended. Under the said provision, may estafa kung nag-issue ka ng cheque bilang panloloko para makakuha ng pera o ari-arian mula sa iba. So what is estafa by the issuance of a check under Article 315 2D? Para mas madaling maintindihan, here are the elements of the crime. First element, the offender issued a check, post-dated or not, in payment of an obligation. Meaning, nag-issue ang offender ng cheque, post-dated man o hindi, bilang bayad sa isang obligasyon. Take note, it must be issued in payment of an obligation. Hence, if it was issued merely as a gift to another, there is no estafa. Kung ang cheque ay regalo lang o walang kapalit na obligasyon, wala pong estafa. There is also no estafa if the issuer of the check was merely a guarantor, meaning he wasn't the one who actually borrowed the money but only promised to pay in case the real debtor fails to do so. In other words, wala ring estafa kung ang issuer ay guarantor lang. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya ang umutang kundi siya lang yung nangakong magbabayad kung sakaling hindi makabayad ang tunay na may utang. Estafa does not also apply if the checks weren't meant to be encashed at the bank, but were only given as a form of security or guarantee for a loan, based on an agreement that they would be replaced or paid in cash when they become due. Wala ring estafa kung ang mga cheque ay hindi talaga para i-encash sa bangko, kundi ibinigay lang bilang panigurado o garantiya sa utang, ayon sa kasunduan na papalitan ito o babayaran ng cash pagdating ng due date. Second element, the check, whether post-dated or not, is issued in payment of an obligation contracted at the time of the issuance and delivery of the check. Ang cheque ay inisyu bilang bayad sa isang obligasyong napagkasunduan at ginawa kasabay ng mismong pag-issue at pagbigay ng cheque. Put simply, the check must have been issued as payment for an obligation created at the same time the check was issued and delivered. Therefore, if the check was given to settle a debt that already existed before its issuance, estafa is not committed, even if there were no or insufficient funds in the account to cover the amount. Ibig sabihin, hindi dapat ginamit ang cheque bilang bayad sa isang utang na dati nang napagkasunduan bago pa inisyu ang cheque. Kaya kung ang cheque ay ibinigay para bayaran ang dati ng utang, wala pong estafa, kahit pa walang laman ang account noong diniposit ang cheque. Third element, the offender was able to receive the money or property from the offended party because of the check. In short, the other party wouldn't have parted with this money or property if the check hadn't been issued as payment or assurance. Sa Tagalog, natanggap ng offender ang pera o ari-arian mula sa biktima dahil sa checking in-issue. Sa madaling salita, hindi sana ibinigay ng biktima ang kanyang pera o ari-arian kung hindi dahil sa checking iyon na ibinigay bilang kabayaran o kasiguraduhan. Dapat malinaw na ang cheque ang dahilan kung bakit ibinigay ng biktima ang pera o property niya. Kung hindi dahil sa cheque, hindi sana pumayag sa transaksyon. Now let's go to the fourth element. The check was dishonored because the offender had no or insufficient funds in the bank to cover the amount in the check. Tumalbog ang cheque dahil walang pondo o kulang ang pondo sa bangko. And fifth element, the offended party suffered damage because of the dishonor of the check. Naperwisyo ang biktima dahil sa dishonor ng cheque. Halimbawa, nawalan siya ng pera, produkto o serbisyo na hindi nabayaran dahil tumalbog ang cheque. Now, please take note of the following points. In contrast po to BP22, it is not required that the drawer knew at the time of issuing the check that there were no or insufficient funds in the bank to cover it. As such, the offended party does not need to prove that the drawer was aware that he had no funds or that he lacked funds at the time he issued the check. Sa Tagalog, hindi kailangan na alam ng nag-issue ng cheque na walang laman o kulang ang laman ng bank account niya at the time he issued the check. Kaya hindi rin kailangan patunayan ng offended party na alam ng nag-issue ng cheque na wala siyang pondo o sapat na pondo sa bangko. What the law recognizes instead is prima facie evidence of deceit. This means that if the person who issued the check fails to deposit enough money to cover the check within 3 days after being notified by the bank or the payee that it bounced due to lack of funds, that failure alone can already serve as sufficient proof that the person acted with deceit or committed fraud. Ibig sabihin, ang kinikilala ng batas ay ang tinatawag na prima facie evidence of deceit. Kung hindi nagdeposito ng sapat na pera ang nag-issue ng cheque sa loob ng 3 araw mula nang matanggap niya ang abiso mula sa bangko o sa tumanggap ng cheque na ito'y tumalbog dahil kulang o walang pondo, pwede na itong ituring na sapat na ebidensya na may panlilinlang o panlolokong naganap. Another point, although not explicitly stated in the provision itself, in cases of estafa under Article 315, Paragraph 2D of the Revised Penal Code, where a person issues a bouncing check, a notice of dishonor is still required. This notice is important because it helps establish a presumption of deceit, which is a key element of the crime. Kahit hindi siya nakaspecify sa mismong provision ng Article 315, Paragraph 2D of the Revised Penal Code, required pa rin po ang notice of dishonor kapag estafa ang kaso dahil sa pag-issue ng talbog na cheque. Bakit ito mahalaga? Kasi ito ang basihan para masabing may panloloko o deceit na isang mahalagang elemento ng estafa. That said, while a written notice is usually expected, the law also recognizes actual knowledge of dishonor, even if communicated verbally, as possibly sufficient in certain cases. Kadalasan, written notice talaga ang inaasahan, pero sabi rin ng Korte Suprema na actual knowledge na talbog ang cheque kahit verbal lang ang abiso, pwede nang sapat sa ilang pagkakataon. So, to summarize, kailangan talaga ang notice of dishonor para mapatunayan na may deceit at masustain ang kaso ng estafa sa pag-issue ng bouncing check. Written man o verbal, depende sa sitwasyon, basta may malinaw na ebidensya na alam ng nag-issue na tumalbog ang kanyang cheque. Kasi dun lang i-reckon ang period, ang 3-day period within which the issuer of the check must deposit enough funds in the bank to cover the amount of the check that he issued. Now, let's go through some examples. Example number 1, I call this the fake business deal. This is the scenario. Carlos tells Ana, may big time supplier ako ng gadgets. Sure profit ito, Miss Ana. Pero kailangan ko ng puhunan. To gain Ana's trust, Carlos issues a post-dated check for 500,000 pesos in exchange for Ana's investment. Ana gives the money. When she tries to encash the check on the date stated, it bounces because the account is already closed. Carlos disappears. Bakit ito estafa? This is estafa because the check was issued to induce Ana to part with her money. Here, there was deceit because Carlos had no intention of paying actually, and damage was caused. Why? Because Ana lost 500,000 pesos. Example number 2, I call this the bayad na yan illusion. This is the scenario. Mario buys a second-hand car from Luis. He says, wala akong cash ngayon, but I will issue a post-dated check for 300,000 pesos. I-deposit mo ito next week. Luis then gives the car and signs the deed of sale. The next week, the check bounces for insufficient funds. When confronted by Luis, Mario says, ay sorry, wala palang pondo yan. Bakit ito estafa? This is estafa because Mario used the check in order to get the car. It was a form of deceit to make Luis part with his property. The check was dishonored and Luis suffered damage because he lost the car and got nothing in return. In my next video po, we will compare estafa, meaning this kind of estafa, and BP22, and whether or not the offended party can file two cases, estafa and BP22, at the same time and for the same transaction. So yan lang po ang munting lesson natin for today, and see you in my next video. Maraming salamat po.